Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.
Comes down to trade management. It's a tough question to ask. I think when you're looking at a chart, I think it's one of those things you want to predetermine with your rules and your system.
So I found a couple examples that I think will be good ones for us to use in kind of our discussion tonight. In February, we had 4 different stock reports. During each and every one of them, there were different points where we called bullish or bearish or whatnot. I want to take a few of them and discuss how you would have managed the trade candle by candle. So I found a stock. Now, by the way, are you guys watching the stock and options reports, the commodity reports, the Forex reports every week? Is that a part of your weekend routine to find some good picks? Love it. Okay. Now, there was one on the 24th of, this month, February, I should say, last month on Netflix, and it was in the stock report from the 24th. Noah, can you bring up Netflix, and let's take a look at this one. Now, pull this one back, and if I remember right, Noah, did you do the report on the 24th, or was it the 17th?
Oh, I don't recall. I think the 24th was Grant, but either way, I gave him the pick no matter what, for sure. I'll take credit for it.
I gotcha. So anyway, zoom me back to that date, and let's kind of go through this, and I want you guys to really think about what you would have done. So, and let's see if we can, perfect, yeah. Let's see if we can zoom in. So
right back in there.
Perfect, right there. Okay, now here was the chart on the day of the report. Now, if you traded Netflix, type in NFLX. Was there anybody that was in this stock in the last couple of weeks? Okay, a couple of you did, okay. And probably bullish, all right, very, very good. Now, is anybody still in the trade on Netflix? Couple people still are. So, all right, very good. Somebody got slammed on it. Somebody exited today on a profit. Probably depends on how you managed it, right? This is an interesting thing because to me, Netflix was a huge home run, right? But it easily could have been mismanaged, and I think we could learn from the opportunities. Now, as we go through these might have some real life, kind of emotions with somebody who's already been in the trade recently or whatnot. That's not the intention. We're here to learn, right, and grow. Can you guys agree to that? We're just here to learn and grow, and if we can learn from a great trade, fantastic. And if we can learn from a losing trade, fantastic, right? That's what trading's all about. So Noah, what did we see in the entry point? Why was this a good candidate on the 24th?
Well, you've got a nice breakout setup. There's that resistance point, and you can see, again, prices came up into resistance. You might even call it kind of a funny-looking little cup and handle there. But it's got an obvious entry point above resistance. Now, identifying the exact entry points, one of the questions that just came up, by the way, is determine an exact support and resistance zone. Now, in most cases, it's never a perfect price point. It's not a decimal point. It's kind of a zone. So you have to look at what's the most common price. And in this case, you'd want to pick an entry typically above that resistance point. Only buy if it breaks out, because you're trading into an area of resistance, which is where there's been supply. And we're looking to see if demand can overpower that supply, that price threshold where people have been willing to sell. And, so we find that, trading right into a resistance zone and just watching to see if it can break out.
Mm-hmm. And so as we moved forward, and when you watch a report on the weekend, it's part of your watch list. You're going to kind of pick the ones you like. I know for me, I would have played this one right here. Boom. Okay. Resistance, trigger, entry, almost a perfect textbook breakout here, Noah. There are a lot of ways to trade it. Now, let me ask everybody out there, do you trade it with a call? Do you trade it with a bull put? Do you trade it with a bull call? Is there a perfect strategy for your system right here? And Noah, you go ahead and answer as well.
Well, I do lots of different things with that. If I'm being very, purely directional, sure, I'll buy a call. But sometimes I'll take a directional setup with a non-directional trade. Maybe I just sell a credit spread down below support in anticipation of it being bullish. And I'm less aggressive on that. It really depends on how much I like the setup and what I think the overall market conditions are. Is the market conducive to a nice run? And I don't mind speculating, but again, speculative trades really require the stock to move in the right direction for it to work for you.
Hmm.
I could just take that, like I said, I could just take that bullish bias and do a less aggressive strategy, like a credit spread way down, below support, just anticipating that it stays bullish.
Now, and I think this is a really important point right here, guys, because depending on what strategy you play, I mean, that will be somewhat dependent on your system, your experience level, your level of education, and your ability. A straight call play is a swing trade, most often. You can trade a straight call trade as a position trade. But when it comes to swing trading, I believe you've got to have precision. I think you've got to have really good emotional kind of context so you don't get up and down too much. You got to have some experience to swing trade well. You're more directional in that regard. I love the bull put spread, even with breakouts. Now, it's not, always going to give you the right credit, which is where you have to, what you're looking for. But there's a lot of different strategies you can play right here. Now, Noah, as we move Netflix forward, let's kind of think about the candles one at a time. Let's say that you would have bought there on the 26th, and then boom. Now, guys, let me ask you, how many of you out there have you ever got right into a trade and then the very next day it goes against you? Everybody better say me, of course, right? Anybody who's traded. How do you feel when that happens? Ay, ay, ay. It's a phase. Inadequate, stupid, like I didn't think, lousy, right? Like I messed up, frustrated. Now, I will tell you this. I do feel something, but it's none of those things. I usually just like, it might have a tinge of that deep DNA emotion that I remember from 10, 12 years ago being new, Noah. But I'd usually just kind of let it water off a duck's back, right? Because it is just one trade. I want you guys to think about something. If your emotions go way up and way down based on one candle on one trade, there's probably something wrong with the way you're approaching the trade.